Good afternoon, everyone. It's time for our live coverage of the day's top stories, where we also take your comments on the air. So you should write to me if you have comments at @Lookner on Twitter. That's where you can write to me. @Lookner on Twitter. So please do that. I just got a notification on Discord. Somebody said they didn't get a notification. Well, I did. See, maybe you want to sign up again for notifications at the Discord. But I just got the Discord notification myself. Okay, now, thanks to our moderators as well. I appreciate it, moderators. And thanks to our various viewers for joining us. Love Smite Mark Worling, Pippi Long, Barak Shalev, who's in Israel, Russell Mike. We got viewers on different platforms, so welcome to the broadcast. And we're going to get started here talking about some news. Milk Jamming is watching on Twitch. And Facebook is acting very strange today. Facebook is acting very, very weird today. Facebook appears to be having a lot of problems today. I couldn't even make a post about this. Chris Katz says, you gonna cover Marjorie Taylor Greene potentially losing committee assignments? No, because it's covered so many places so much, and I actually think it's not that important. So I'm not going to cover it. Like 90% of cable news now is Democrats hating Marjorie Taylor Greene and Republicans hating AOC. And the amount of time spent on it compared to how important it is it's a huge ratio of amount of time spent covering it versus how important it actually is. So no, I'm not going to be covering it. Diane is watching on Facebook. Okay, now. Hey, I want to first talk about this, just in case you were wondering. GameStop is now below 60. See? See what happens? See what happens? So, remember we were covering this a few days ago, and it was actually above 400. I mean, come on. So we knew this was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. It's now below 60. Where's the chart here? Let's look at the GameStop chart. 1 month from CNBC. Here's the chart. See? It was trading at like 17. That's probably where it's going to go down to. And then it went up to 40. And then it went up to over 400. It actually went all the way up here. But for a short amount of time. So it probably doesn't show up on your on this graph. It doesn't show up. And then it was in the 300s for a while. And now it's at 59. It's at 59. Jeff says, who could have predicted this? Space Force Captain thinks it's time to buy again. So yeah, AMC is down to 726, which is still several times higher than it was. I'm sure that'll go down more too. Oh, thank you, Jorthio. That's very kind of you, Jorthio, who's in Cyprus from the Mediterranean Sea watching. Hey, Jorthio, that's cool. Man, that'd be a cool place to visit. Thank you, Jorthio, from your support all the way from Cyprus in the Mediterranean Sea. You want to see where Jorthio is right now? Man, the power of modern technology. Near Italy. Actually, no. More near Turkey and Lebanon. Italy's over here. Sicily's here. Cyprus is over here. So that's where Jorthio is, somewhere on Cyprus. Hello, Jorthio. I got it confused with Sicily and Sardinia and those islands over here. There we go. All right, so I fully expect this to keep dropping, but I am not an investment person. Do not take my advice. I do not give investment advice. But, we were talking about this Check Dogecoin. Yeah, Dogecoin. I get people messaging me last night saying, Steve, you need to go live because Elon Musk, everything he says is just gold. He's a genius. Not they didn't say that, but they just said Elon Musk is tweeting about gold Dogecoin and it's going crazy. So you need to cover it. Now the people who send me that, of course, ignore the fact that Elon Musk frequently tweets about Dogecoin. He posted a post which looked like a Dogecoin post 3 days ago, and then Dogecoin went way up. You know what happened after that? It went way down. It went down. So I don't care. I don't care if Elon Musk posts about Dogecoin. He's done it before. And then people just rush out and buy it, and you know what? Then it goes down. So no, I don't care that he did again. Why do I care that he's posting again about Dogecoin? So yeah, see, he posted last night, and then it went up to 5.79. He was posting about it. Oh, and look, 5.8 cents, and now it's at 4.7 cents. Oh, Dogecoin. Oh, Elon Musk, you have to cover it because Elon Musk is posting about Dogecoin. Even though 3 days ago he posted about Dogecoin, it went way up and way down. See what happened? It went way up and then it went way down. Oh, with the Dogecoin and the Elon Musk. Tony Nagy says Elon is a genius. He's very smart about some things. That doesn't mean literally everything he says is the gold standard and genius. So no, we're not covering Dogecoin. You gotta cover it. It's going way up because Elon Musk tweeted about it. There's GameStop. Remember how excited everyone was about GameStop? It's going to the moon. It's to the moon. To 1,000. It's going to the moon. Rocket ship, rocket ship, rocket ship. Diamond hands. Diamond hands. Rocket ship, diamond hands. To the moon. 1,000, 1,500. No, it didn't go to 1,000. No, it went right back down like everyone was saying. Everyone realistic was saying, including myself just a few days ago. That's where it is. Jeff says some people lost a lot of money on GameStop. Yeah, some people made a lot of money. Some people lost a lot of money. Oh, hey, I want to say a quick thank you to Carlene Gebhardt. Carlene Gebhardt. Maybe that's K. Gebhardt in the chat. Thanks for your support so much. Carlene K. Gebhardt, thank you. Stephen Murray says Steve doesn't like crypto. I didn't say I don't like crypto. If something is going greatly up because Elon Musk posts about it, where what he's posting doesn't even suggest anything importantly new about it, if he just says Dogecoin, it goes way up, my guess is it'll go right back down. So I don't like when people say it's somehow newsworthy that Elon Musk posted that Dogecoin is great. Okay. Vanya Maxwell says diamond hands. Oh, Kay Gebhardt, she's in the chat. Thank you, Kay Gebhardt. I appreciate that. Thank you. Jeff says it's amazing how quickly the GameStop story became dated. It was all people were talking about last week. Well, yeah, but the thing is, I remember there were some people saying like, oh, this has changed the stock market. This is such a big change in the stock market. The retail investor, which are individual investors, they're taking over from the professional investors. They're taking over. And as I was saying last week, well, it seems like what happened is they found a particular good strategy to use on stocks which had been heavily shorted. But as I said last week, the hedge funds that lost billions of dollars who had heavily shorted these stocks, I'm guessing will never do this again. They will not allow themselves to be put in this position again. So good for them, good for the people at Wall Street Bets who figured out this strategy to use. I'm guessing they won't be able to use it again because the people who lost money, who had bet against the stocks, will not allow them to be put in that position. They will not allow themselves to be put in that position again. So fine. So there's one strategy, good for them. It sounds like they figured out a good strategy to make a stock price go way up. But that doesn't mean the whole market has changed. I mean, I guess the way the market has changed, if they can find lots of other good strategies. I don't know if there's any kind of, as I've said before, maybe there's other inefficiencies in the market that Wall Street Bets investors can take advantage of. Maybe there are not. Maybe this was just a really, a good strategy that they figured out that the people who stood to lose money, the hedge funds, had not protected themselves against. But that doesn't mean there's lots of these opportunities out there. Maybe that was the big one. So I don't see it as really changing anything fundamentally. It didn't even stay up that long. Now it's below 57. Now it's below 57. Now it's down to 56.79. Right. Jamie says they'll figure out how to make the records private. I would imagine that hedge funds will find a way to bet against stocks such that, again, if they take a big position out, maybe it's not obvious to people. Whatever. They'll figure out some way around it. Jeff says all they did was give hedge funds a minor headache until they made a minor adjustment and continued to make money elsewhere. Low Roller Scratcher said, I bet a lot of retail investors are shorting GameStop. I was thinking about that today. I was thinking well, it was pretty obvious GameStop was going to go down. Should I have shorted it? Well, the thing is, though, if you shorting a stock is risky, and also if it happens to go up, you can, from my understanding of shorting a stock, if you bet against a stock and then the stock goes up instead of down, you might have to buy more of that stock to cover your bet or to cover margin requirements or whatever. So yes, it was going to go down eventually. But for example, if I had bet against GameStop stock at 300 and then it went up to 1,000 before going down, I think I could have lost a lot of money on it. So it was from my understanding, from my very amateurish understanding, it still would have been you could bet, you knew the stock was going to come down eventually, but if you bet against it and then it went up before it came down, you could have lost a bunch of money, from what I understand. Maybe I'm wrong about this. So anyways. But yes, I am sure people bet against it. I'm sure hedge funds bet against it when it was at 300 or 400. MKD says now they're betting against GameStop and making tons of money again. Well, now it's down 38% today. Whatever happened with what's going on with Deep Effing Value, who is a investor who got into GameStop very early, and then they posted on Wall Street Bets that they weren't selling their GameStop stock and options, and they lost $13 million on it on one day last week. Is that person still in? Is Wall Street Bets even working today? Let's see here. Yes. Okay. Is Deep Effing Value still in? I don't even know if I can find their post. I didn't check it yesterday, so I don't. They were in as of 2 days ago. Yeah, if somebody has the link, they can send it to me. Oh, is AMC down too? We got to check AMC stock. 721. So AMC, it was trading at about 2. Then it went up to about 20, and now it's at 721. Jamie says deep effing value is still in. He also posted he was going quiet for a while. Okay. So maybe he's not posting screenshots anymore. Miss Amy, I am seeing this on my broadcast right now. I am seeing it in my subscription feed right now. So maybe you have to check your subscription feed and make sure you're subscribed, because I am seeing it in my subscription feed right now. Oh, Reddit poster to testify? What is this? I didn't even see this. Reddit poster to testify. This is from MarketWatch. Reddit poster to testify? About what? There's going to be a blah, 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 blah. Oh, Keith Gill. That's deep effing value. The Robinhood co-CEO and Keith Gill, deep effing value, will testify at this. There's a House Financial Services. They're not charging. They're not. I don't believe this is some sort of investigation to undercover criminal activity. It's just like it's to learn more about what happened. Maxine Waters, the chairwoman of the House Financial Services Committee, said the hearing will be educational. And she also hopes a hedge fund representative will attend. The February 18 hearing is called GameStop: Who Wins and Loses When Short Sellers, Social Media, and Retail Investors Collide. Okay. Alexander Haynes says, will Robinhood get in legal trouble for their actions regarding GME last week? I don't see why they should. I don't believe they did anything illegal. They cut off certain stocks from being traded, they said, because they had a cash shortage, and their cash requirements increased with all the crazy trading that was going on. I find that entirely believable. I don't know that I haven't heard anything illegal about it. And also, many reports say they had to borrow $3.4 billion, which is over half the value of their company, to keep functioning. So I don't know why they'd be charged with anything. I'm not aware they did anything illegal. Now, there's lots of conspiracy people out there and people irresponsibly saying, oh, they, and I've been saying this since the day these accusations started being made. When people, including some very prominent people, irresponsibly started saying stuff like, oh, they're definitely only doing this because they want to help the hedge funds. Well, no, there's lots of plausible, there was never any compelling evidence of that. And I said there's lots of plausible explanations otherwise, and then it was widely reported that they borrowed billions of dollars because they had a cash shortage. So, but you still have lots of prominent people espousing conspiracy theories about how they were working with the hedge funds. So, no, I know no reason why they should be charged with anything, and I haven't seen any evidence of it. Maybe in the conspiracy theory court they'll be charged, but in the court which requires actual evidence, they won't be, as far as I'm aware. Not aware of anything they did that was illegal. Okay. Ooh, this isn't good. This isn't good. I just saw this. Jeff Selden, sailor assigned to the Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine USS Tennessee, has died of COVID-related complications per U.S. Navy. Condolences to the sailor's family. The sailor had been hospitalized since January 30th, tested positive a day later. Wow, this person just got hospitalized 4 days ago and they died. Look at this. Sailor assigned to Kings Bay unit dies of COVID-related complications. This is from the Navy. A sailor assigned to USS Tennessee Blue Crew died of COVID-related complications February 4th. The sailor was admitted to the Naval Air Station Hospital January 30th and transferred to the ICU on January 31st, where the sailor subsequently tested positive for COVID. The sailor was in the ICU at the time of death. Jeez. They just went into the hospital on January 30th. That's 4 days ago. I wonder if it was one of the new strains. That's not good. Condolences to the family. That's bad. Oh, and another baby in the chat. We got another baby, Curtis, complaining about my gulping sound. Has Steve ever contemplated a gulp button? That sound of gulping is not that difficult to manage. Does anyone else hate the sound of gulping? Oh, I'm watching this YouTuber, and it's entirely free to watch, and it's up to me to decide whether to watch them of my own free will, but I hate the gulping sound so much. Oh. That's our chat from Baby Curtis. Baby Curtis, who's with the other babies in the daycare. Once in a while, I guess they turn the broadcast on at the daycare and the babies post about hating my gulping sound. All the babies. Well, that's a really sad story. Sorry, I just saw that right now. I just saw it. By the way, getting back to the GameStop story, we have a couple more comments. Idea to Go says hedge funds got lazy, sloppy. They'll be more careful now for a while. Excuse me. Roxanne says the Navy has had 72 deaths so far. Yeah, I think it said that in the tweet. I don't know what the ages have been. Here, Jeff Sedlin had said, as of yesterday, the Navy has a total of 72 deaths. Again, condolences to the family. Terrible. Christina Paulette Kirshner says, I was stationed there. Thank you for your service. I knew a few people on that boat. They are retired now, though. Okay, by the way, hang on a second here. C. Swigum says the subscription feed doesn't always show all of the live streams at the top. I had similar problems a few days ago. Hey, so, oh, hang on. Yeah, I want to talk about this U.S. Capitol arrest today. Dan Williams says, why doesn't Steve ignore trolls? They get the exact reaction from Steve that they want. Well, no. See, there's some people out there who, believe me, there's the vast majority of negative stuff I ignore. There's some people who say, like, literally, if you at any time respond to any negative comment in any sort of way, they say, you're giving the trolls what they want. Just ignore the trolls. Well, I do ignore them. I'm ignoring them like over 90% of the time. Now, once in a while, because I feel like it, I might say something. If somebody's purely just trolling, I do ignore them. The people who I tend to respond to more are the people I feel who aren't intentionally trolling. And sometimes they're names of people I recognize. And they actually are not intentionally trolling. And they think what they're saying is like a genuinely helpful comment, when in fact it's just, there's something fundamentally flawed about it. So those are the people I respond to. But it's this, I love, I can ignore 99 out of 100 comments. And then there's one I might choose to comment because I feel like, and I don't care, it's my channel. I can comment and I want. And then if I say it one time, people are like, now you're not ignoring the trolls. If Steve would just ignore the trolls, but no, he feeds them. He feeds them by ignoring them 99% of the time. I always get it. Never fails. The one time you say anything, he's feeding the trolls. Every time. Just amazing. Everybody just whines about everything in the chat room. Whine. Hey, thank you, by the way, to Louis Burmeister. Thanks for your support, Louis Burmeister. And Don Teller. Yeah, Don says, leave if you hate gulping. Yeah, no one's keeping you. I agree with Don. No one's keeping anyone. People act like they're being kidnapped and forced to watch it. You didn't even pay for it. It's not like you paid for cable, and it's not like you signed up for the channel. I mean, some people donate, which is really nice of them, but it's not like, for the vast majority of people, it's not like you agreed to pay $50 a month and then you're not getting what you came for. Hey, thank you, by the way, to Chris Catt for the Facebook stars. Thank you, Chris. That's very kind of you. Hold on. Gulp. Gulp. Oh, he's being so loud with his gulps. Why can't he stop the gulping? Okay, what were we going to talk about next? Oh, I wanted to talk about this. Chad Pergram posted this. There was a woman arrested at the U.S. Capitol today who drove through a checkpoint and hit an officer. How about that? Chad Pergram says at U.S. Capitol Police at approximately 9:05 a.m. this morning, U.S. Capitol Police officers stopped an adult female suspect attempting to gain entry in her vehicle at a security checkpoint at New Jersey Avenue and D Street. I actually looked up where this is. New Jersey Avenue and D Street Southeast. So this is at the Capitol. Street view. So this is New Jersey Avenue and D Street Southeast. So where's the Capitol? Okay, so there's the Capitol right there. Okay, so there's a checkpoint. It's this checkpoint right here. This is the checkpoint right here. Okay? So a woman attempted to gain entry in her vehicle. The officers at the checkpoint advised the woman that she could not enter the checkpoint. The woman ignored the officer's instruction and proceeded forward, striking a U.S. Capitol Police officer who was standing in front of her vehicle. She actually hit the officer. The suspect was placed under arrest and transported to Capitol Police headquarters for processing. The suspect has been preliminarily charged with assaulting a police officer, assault with a deadly weapon, assault with a deadly weapon vehicle, and unlawful entry. Fox News has inquired if the suspect is a congressional aide or has a hard pass to enter the complex. Fox has now learned that the suspect arrested did not have a Capitol Hill credential and does not work in the Capitol complex. That's from Chad Pergram. So I don't know what was up with that. Sarah55 says, crazy driver. I don't know what was going on with it. I mean, I might have just been a crazy person. I don't know. But she actually hit an officer. She actually hit an officer. Idea 2 go. I don't know if this is extended security lately. I mean, it's to me, it's plausible that they've always had that checkpoint there. I mean, this is Google Maps. Google Maps, not Cyprus. Where's the Google Maps? What happened to it? I mean, this is a photo. When was this from? This is from 2011. That photo is from 2011. So that checkpoint has been there forever. This is 2018. Yeah, that's been there for years. That's 2019. That's a long time checkpoint for cars. It looks like it's not a pedestrian checkpoint. You can walk through here. It's just you can't bring a car through there. I don't know if you can walk through there today, but you could walk through. You just can't bring a car through there. Miss Amy said, messed her life up. Yeah, I mean, these seem like, I don't know how her proceedings are going to go. I would guess that these are felonies with serious penalties. Assaulting a police officer, assault with a deadly weapon. Jennifer says, this is not going to end well for her. I hope the officer's okay. That's pretty bad, though. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can find anything about the officer. I don't know how if the officer got injured or whatever. It's weird. It's like I haven't seen much details about it. Like I'm barely seeing any news stories about it, but it did happen. It's all from today. That's from Chad Pergram. Hey, thanks to our moderators. We got Sarah55, Angel Shark. They're moderating there in our YouTube chat. Thank you. Thanks to our Facebook mods. Roxanne Betke is there. Moderating. Thanks to our Twitch mods too. Idaho Star and Tariac. Oh, hold on a second here. Procyon says it's a vehicle stop, not pedestrian. Anyways, I literally can't find a single like actual news article about it, feel free to send one along if you find one. Miss Amy says she thinks she didn't hit him hard, but still. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I wondered if she had just tapped him, would she have been charged with all this? So I just don't know. Well, they didn't charge her with attempted murder. That's there's assault. Like if she literally gunned it and ran over the guy, they'd probably charge her with attempted murder. Although, who knows? I don't know. Oh, by the way, real quick, I want to thank Lizzie FTW for helping us moderate in this channel too. Thank you, Lizzie. I appreciate that. And Maria B as well. Thank you so much, Maria B, for helping us moderate on this channel. I appreciate it, Lizzie and Maria B. Nick Bryan, sorry, not Nick Bryan. Nick Bryan sent me something, but that's not what I was looking at. Sorry, Nick. Nick, thanks for the news tips. T-Rod sent me something about, no, that wasn't it. Who sent me the thing about the, somebody had sent me something about some restaurant thing. Yeah, I don't really know what this is. Craig Kaplan. Senate adopts bipartisan Wicker Cinema amendment to COVID-19 relief budget resolution establishing federal grants to bars and restaurants affected by the COVID pandemic in its first vote. Yeah, I don't know what, does that mean that it's going to be included in the next stimulus? I don't know. I have the Senate voting on one thing. It's just the Senate voting on one amendment. Is that bill going to pass? Is that going to be the one that's signed? I just don't know. Okay. Let's keep going here. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. This came out yesterday, and I wanted to talk about this. I think this is a really interesting story. By the way, GameStop is at 57. Let's talk about the Apple car story. That's what I want to talk about. So there's been some reporting that Apple might end up building a car at the Kia factory in Georgia. This could actually be really important. This came out yesterday. Apple and Hyundai Kia pushing toward deal on Apple car. Oh, thank you, Angel Shark. That's very kind of you, Angel Shark, one of our mods. Thanks for your support, Angel Shark. Thank you. I appreciate that. Much appreciated. So this hasn't been finalized yet, but there's a lot of reporting about it. Apple is close to finalizing a deal with Hyundai Kia to manufacture an Apple-branded autonomous electric vehicle that can drive itself at the Kia assembly plant in West Point, Georgia, sources tell CNBC. Sources familiar with Apple's interest in working with Hyundai say the tech giant wants to build the Apple car in North America with an established automaker willing to allow Apple to control the software and hardware that will go into the vehicle. So I think this is actually this is an important thing. You know, there's been rumors around for years about Apple working on a car. Right, Madison G says, is Tesla nervous? That's a thought I had. Yes, an autonomous electric vehicle. After years of speculation, it will eventually get into the auto business with its own vehicle. Apple is close to finalizing a deal with Hyundai Kia to manufacture an Apple-branded autonomous electric vehicle, meaning it can drive itself, at the Kia assembly plant in West Point, Georgia, according to multiple sources who briefed CNBC. The so-called Apple car, which is being developed by a team at Apple, is tentatively scheduled to go into production in 2024. Although people familiar with the talk say the eventual rollout could be pushed back. This is a big deal. This plant, when I used to live in Alabama and drive to the airport in Atlanta, I would drive by that Kia plant. It's a huge plant. Those familiar with the discussion say each company sees a unique benefit in working with the other to develop an Apple car. For Apple, the decision to build a car opens the potential to tap into a global auto and mobility market valued at $10 trillion. A Morgan Stanley analyst, Katie Huberty, said this: smartphones are a $500 billion annual business. Apple has about 1/3 of this market. The mobility market is $10 trillion, so Apple would only need a 2% share of this market to be the size of their iPhone business. There is a shot of the plant. While it is still unclear exactly what the Apple car will look like, those familiar with the plan say there are a couple of notable features. The first Apple cars will not be designed to have a driver, said one source. These will be autonomous electric vehicles designed to operate without a driver and focus on the last mile. Now, this is interesting. This could mean Apple cars, at least initially, could focus on packaged food delivery options and firms incorporating robo-taxis. So these cars may not be designed to, be something that an average consumer can buy and keep at their house. Maybe it's something designed to be like what FedEx or Amazon would use, or what, like Uber would use. The move could bring the tech giant into direct competition with Tesla, which is rolling out self-driving features for its vehicles. Tony says, does this mean the car insurance companies are doomed? Well, you can find articles out there about how things would change if cars were autonomous, that they drove themselves. And, I certainly, you can find smart people who believe that the future of cars is that you won't own one, is that you will subscribe to a service like Uber or whatever, and that service will basically allow you to take a car whenever you want somewhere, and the car would just come and pick you up and then take you somewhere, and there wouldn't even be a driver in it. And if that was what happened, I mean, it would just be such enormous differences. For example, you could get rid of a lot of the gas stations. Secondly, like our viewer said, Tony, car insurance, individuals wouldn't deal with it. It would just be, like the company like Uber or whatever would have it. But that whole market would basically go away, individual car insurance. There'd be insurance, but it would be for the companies that had the cars. Also, parking. If it's just fleets of cars, if people didn't own their cars and it was just, you subscribe to a car service, think of all the parking that could go away. Think of all the space that's taken up with parking. There's so many businesses and so much of society is a certain way to accommodate individually owned cars. And if that were to change, and I certainly think there's a decent chance it will go that way, then it could just fundamentally change so many things. Yes, Underdog Rising says automated car systems would have far fewer accidents. Plus traffic would ease because cars would automatically move in unison. The thing, when you think about automated cars, you might think like, there could be an accident. Well, fine, there could be, and I'm sure there will be. But the question with automated cars is not like, are there no accidents, but how many accidents and deaths are there compared to human-driven cars? So you could have automated cars killing 2,000 people a year. That would be well over a 90% improvement on human-driven cars. U.S. vehicle deaths a year. Actually, probably way more. How many is it? The number of people who died in, be about 90%. According to Car and Driver, the number of people who have died in motor vehicle traffic crashes was, fewer people drove in 2020, I bet. It was 16,650. It was about 17,000 in 2019. I mean, 2020 is a pandemic year. But no, this is more. Hold on a second. That looks low. Why does this say? I thought it was like 30 something. This says here, the number of people who have died in motor vehicle traffic crashes was down to 17. It's about 17,000. But I thought it was like 30,000. Is that just a different definition? How many car deaths each year? There were. IIHS.org, there were 33,000 fatal motor vehicle crashes. So is the difference that some of these don't involve other traffic? Is that what it is? Let's see here. Fatality rate in U.S. by year. Oh, no, it's more. It's more. That's what I thought. I thought it was in the 30,000s. 2019, 36,120. Yeah. But maybe Car and Driver said like 17,000 because Car and Driver was talking about like multi-car crashes rather than single car crashes. Maybe that's what it was. That might be explaining the difference. Yeah, 30-something thousand is what the number I was thinking. So that's why I was saying if you had autonomous cars and 2,000 people got killed in autonomous car accidents every year, that'd still be a well over 90% reduction. Grover Maddox says, I'd be nervous about self-driving at first, but as the technology got perfected, I'd grow more comfortable with it. I'm guessing that'd be the same for a lot of people. Also, I'm guessing if kids grew up with it, they would just get used to it. I was recently playing the game Among Us with my nieces and my nephew, and we were doing a phone chat and playing the game online at the same time, which to me seems like a very advanced thing to do. To these kids, it's just normal. It's just what they're growing up with. Like, I'm like, wow, amazing. It's a phone chat where you're also playing the game online with people in different locations around the country. To them, it's the most normal thing in the world. They just don't notice anything crazy about it. So people get used to stuff. The princess says, I live rural. We can't even get DoorDash. Yeah, I think. Oh, by the way, GameStop is down to 55. 55.50. I think this Apple thing is a big story. Underdog Rising says the data would clearly indicate automated cars driving themselves would be safer. That would lower insurance for automated vehicles by large amounts, which could trigger even higher prices for manual drivers' money. Also, another thing is think of all the car repair shops. Think of all the car repair shops. If cars were owned not by individuals but just by big, companies that rent at least that if they were all automated and they were owned by companies that had fleets of cars and they sent them out to you when you called them, basically the whole network of repair shops would go away. Think of all the car repair shops and the gas stations and people who work in the auto insurance industry and the parking lots and the parking lot businesses. Think of how much would change, would go away. The Macaw lady says lots of folks can't drive for health reasons. This would be great for them. Now, of course, they can take like Uber now, Now, the difference between electric cars, you can have electric cars that aren't, Teslas are electric, but they still have a driver. Neville says, what about for the people that want to own a car? It'll be interesting if you have a lot of people not own cars, whether they allow people to own cars. Maybe like one of our viewers said, it'll be really expensive too because of insurance or something. I don't know. Also, if there's fewer gas stations and fewer places to get it fixed, it might be a bit more of a pain to own a car. I think this is a big deal. Maria thinks it may be decades away, many decades before all cars are self-driving. Cool for Chilling says, more jobs be gone bye-bye. Reflecting Prism says, Apple will do what they've always do, screw over little people? Is that what they always do? C. Swigum says, Apple does have the capital to throw around, however, they might run into antitrust soon. By the way, thanks Bud Green, who's also moderating. Thank you, Bud. Chris Catt says, self-driving cars are predicted to displace tens of millions of jobs. Without a basic income, it will be a huge problem a decade from now. Christina Paula Kirshner said, CP Gray did an excellent YouTube video on how AI could solve city congestion via better, more efficient routing on the fly. We'll see if that announcement actually comes out for reals. Is there anything new about it? Let's see. Did the Wall Street Journal have an article about it? Seems like they should. They didn't do an article yesterday. See, this was a month ago. A month ago, they had an article in the Wall Street Journal that said Apple in talks with Hyundai about Apple car ambitions. So this story has been out there. Oh, I've seen this too. You can see this, Investors Business Daily. A deal could come February 17th, in 2 weeks. The report added. This is a report from Bloomberg citing a Donga Ibo report. So that report said that a deal could be announced on February 17th. We'll have to see. Oh, thank you to More Talk with Monica Mize. Hey, that's very kind of you, More Talk with Monica Mize, who says, hoping you're having a great start to February. You know, I'm just hoping that there's more vaccinations out there and more people can get vaccinated. I am counting down the days till I can get vaccinated. I was reading an article today about, on the one hand, there's a lot of people who want to get the vaccine who can't get it, but there's also people who can get the vaccine who aren't taking it. Let me show you a couple things about that. Is this the article here? Just as an example, this is a Boston Globe article from today. That's actually, they're doing vaccinations at Fenway Park there. But where is it here? There was something in here. Look at this. So, for example, Mass General Brigham health workers at Mass General Brigham, which I believe is a major hospital there. Mass General Brigham, a Boston-based hospital. Only 70% of Mass General Brigham health workers got shots over the past 6 weeks. So among all the Mass General Brigham health workers, 30% didn't get shots. And then only 56% of Hispanic workers and 42% of black workers got shots at Mass General Brigham. Health officials recognize that many people of color are skeptical of vaccines based on well-deserved mistrust of the healthcare system that's built up over years. Now, the ethnicities of the people aside, I've just seen story after story talking about, situations where there's people who could get the vaccine who choose not to get it. There's been a lot of stories out there about health workers, some of them choosing not to get it. So I just see them again and again and again. And then, I saw this today. This is from Mark Levine, who I believe is on city council in New York City. He said there are still thousands of vaccine appointments available at Yankee Stadium next week. They are not disappearing fast. This is good news, but also bad news. It means NYC is not doing enough outreach to people on the ground. The city should have teams out all over to be signing people up. The Yankee Stadium mega vaccination site is for Bronx residents only. So I guess in New York City, restaurant workers can get it and taxi drivers can get it. All in Bronx in an eligible job category or age 65 plus can schedule at Yankee Stadium. So I just hope people, take advantage of it. But it's a weird situation because on the one hand, there's lots of people who want it. On the other hand, there's some people who can get it who aren't taking it. Montpelier says 5 weeks away from me. It looks like I'm 70 years old. Vicky says, I got my second shot today. Well done, Vicky. And there it is, says, my whole family has received first dose. Linda says, I'm eligible and pre-registered, but no spots available for vaccine. I looked into, because, the Novavax vaccine, I believe, has been tested in Europe, and they had some good results, and now it's being tested in the U.S. Novavax vaccine could be here by summer, New York Times. The company announced last week its vaccine showed robust protection in a large British trial and also worked, though not nearly as well, in a smaller study in South Africa. So it's already been tested a bunch in Europe and South Africa. And so I was like, I think I was reading this story and they said they're now testing it in the U.S. I was like, you know what? I wonder if I can do the Novavax vaccine test in the U.S. because I ain't getting it for months. I'm not in one of the high risk groups, so I bet it'll be months before anyone offers it to me. So I looked up Novavax vaccine trial to see if I was eligible, but I'm not. It's only people in certain groups. If you go to Novavax, it says a vaccine trial details. You must be 18 years of or age of older, have never tested positive for COVID, have a greater risk of becoming infected. Examples include represent a racial or ethnic group that has been greatly impacted, live in crowded conditions such as shared housing, are at greater risk of becoming infected with the virus, blah, blah, blah. Work in close contact with the public or other essential work, have underlying medical conditions, are 65 or older. So I didn't meet these requirements. So I can't do the Novavax trial. If you're looking to do a trial, though, you go check your eligibility. See, so you can go to the Novavax site if you're interested in it. You either get the vaccine or a placebo. But they are doing a U.S. trial. Love Smite says a vaccine is the same as a cure. What the vaccine does, it's designed to prevent you from getting sick. So it's designed to keep you from getting sick and dying. There's been very good results. I think of the vaccine trials with all of the major vaccines. There have been no deaths. Nobody who took the vaccine in any of the trials of the major vaccines like Pfizer, Moderna, Oxford, Novavax, Johnson & Johnson, nobody who took the vaccine died of COVID in the trial. That doesn't mean it won't happen in the real life, but they've been particularly effective in keeping people from getting very sick and going to the hospital or dying so far. But in the trials. I actually posted this last night. Look. Monica Gandhi, who's at UCSF, said, reposting to clarify column headings, hospitalizations, deaths from COVID-19 completely prevented in trials by all 6. Now, one of these is Sputnik, which is the Russian one, so I don't know how that trial was. I don't know about that data. But Novavax, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and Moderna. Protection from hospitalization, death due to COVID-19, 100% in the trials they did. Number of people who got vaccine, 15,000, 18,600, 5,800, 22,000, 9,700. So there's promising results about preventing people from having the worst outcomes. Kay Gephardt says, I would be too nervous to be in a trial, and I'm grateful to all the participants. I understand that. I normally, personally, I'd be more hesitant to be in a trial, but the thing is with Novavax, they already had a large test in the UK. They have to test it in the US to get US approval. Kisei says, my mom got both shots, but my family in Nigeria has basically no chance of getting the vaccine, even the nurses. Violet says, 85-year-old mother and I got the first dose of Pfizer vaccine yesterday, feeling beyond lucky. The princess says, what about the post-vaccination deaths? I've heard of some of those. Look, there are people who have taken the vaccine and then died shortly after, as is to be expected. First of all, because people do die all the time. So if you give enough people the vaccine, if you're giving millions of people a vaccine, which is happening, you would expect that some of them will just die shortly after because they were going to die anyway. Also, there have been cases, look, the vaccine can have side effects, right? That is expected as well. Sometimes people have serious allergic reactions. In Norway, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, the government believes that some people may have died who were older, over 80, and very frail people. I believe maybe people with terminal illnesses who were given the vaccine, and the government believes that they might have gotten normal side effects, but they were so sick they couldn't even handle the normal side effects, like, say, fever and nausea. So I know, we were reading a story a couple weeks ago, I believe it said that, like, in Norway, they weren't giving it to people who were especially old and frail, because there are expected side effects for some people. But there's no evidence yet that the vaccine is causing people to die who were healthy before, aside from, say, normal side effects that are affected, and maybe if somebody's especially sick, they can't handle. Now, this does get looked into. When you see it all the time, when they give vaccines to people, if they get sick, if there's a lot of allergic reactions, they investigate it. That it's constantly being investigated, as it should be. But there's no evidence now that the vaccine is causing large number of people to die. Merck Rose says, 85-year-old father is waiting. He remembers polio. So I am just waiting to get it. Dave NW says, my dad is refusing to get the vaccine because he heard some conspiracy. Very frustrating. DKVNY said, Mass General Brigham used to be Brigham and Women's Hospital. Brigham and Women's Hospital. No, we are not on HAPS. Sorry. Love Smite, there may be updates to the vaccines depending on if it's needed to deal with variants. Lisa Haney says, my pal got the second shot and felt sick for a day. The first was nothing for him. Oh, I may have to restart the stream. I think I have to restart the stream because once again, YouTube, I think I'm going to have to restart the stream on YouTube because their system is broken. So we're going to be restarting the stream on YouTube. Why? Well, I'm going to explain this quickly. Since the pandemic started happening, the YouTube has this automated system which is supposed to flag and hide live streams if they're possibly violating YouTube rules. But the system is completely broken. It hides all kinds of live streams that are doing nothing wrong. And the other big problem is it takes up to 24 hours for a human to actually look at the stream to verify that their stupid broken system made a mistake and unhide it. When it's hidden, new viewers cannot search it. It's invisible to search, and it doesn't come up in people's subscription feeds. So you can see it because you already found it. But if you're searching for it, it's not there. If you subscribe, it won't come up in your subscription feed. And they refuse to fix it, and it happens again and again and again. And I've been through it with them again and again and again. And there's no reason they couldn't just have a system where people who work at home get an email and say, hey, could you check this stream that just got hidden? And it would take 5 seconds to verify that it's not a problem. But they refuse to do it because they honestly really just don't really care about their live streaming creators. They just don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't have this problem. So if you're watching on YouTube, once again, I got to start the stream again on YouTube because this always happens because they suck and they don't care about live streaming creators. This would be the easiest problem to address. They refuse to address it. It's been going on the entire pandemic, and it's just garbage. So what I'm going to do is, if you're watching on the other platforms, keep watching. We're not going away. If you're watching on this platform, I'm going to have to, unfortunately, restart the stream on YouTube because YouTube doesn't care about live streamers. So that's what happens. It happens to all different various live streaming channels. It's going on and on and on, and they have, when I've talked to them numerous times about it on chat, and they have no good explanation for it, and it's just garbage. So this is what happens. So I'm going to restart the YouTube stream now. I'm going to restart the YouTube stream now, and so if you're watching on YouTube. By the way, so if you're watching on YouTube, give me about 5 minutes. It'll pop back up. If you're watching on the other platforms, stay watching, but you'll have to watch me restart the stream on YouTube, okay? So thanks, YouTube viewers. I'm going to end the stream on YouTube now, and we're going to start it in about 5 minutes, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, everybody else who's watching,